afternoon, evening, or morning, wherever you guys may be. We're back at this again. I didn't think that I was going to do another one of this one today, due to current events that happened, but I decided that I was gonna do it since really I have nothing to do, and hey, maybe this stream will help cheer some people up. So we're back at Dead Cells, and I actually found something very interesting. I was going through the settings before starting this, and I went to diet, and what I didn't realize was you can change the aesthetic of the appearance of food in this game. I know it doesn't seem like really much, but it was kind of interesting, and since this is kind of a Metroidvania-esque type of game, I decided that I was going to make it a Castlevania-esque in terms of food. So, without further ado, we're just gonna get started. Hopefully, it starts me back on where we left off. Because again, it'd be a little bit embarrassing if I had to go all the way back to the beginning. So, let's see where we are. It looks like we are right back where we left off. It looks like I have not used my cells yet. I really want this skin, so what I'm gonna do is put those cells towards it and put the rest towards this. Alright, next thing we're gonna do, set mutations. We're gonna do necromancy. I know it's weird that I'm always choosing necromancy, but necromancy is one of my favorites simply because necromancy basically lets you recover 32% HP when an enemy dies, and when you kill a boss, your infection level goes down. Now, to be fair, I'm not sure what the infection level means. I guess we'll find out as we play through it. But yeah, necromancy and this particular mutation right here that gives you basically an extra life when you die, those two are my favorites. So now we have one last thing to do, which is this. Alright. I believe we're on the ramparts right now, if we're going all the way up. Yep. So let's go. Alright, I just had to check some. Oh wow, Gladys and Gon are here. Hey you guys. I'm actually really happy you guys could be here, despite the situation that happened. I really appreciate it. Like, honestly, you guys are the main reason why I decided that I was gonna do this, because I was hoping that, like, you know, maybe if I did this, that would help cheer you guys up, or like, at least do something considering what happens, so. Let us kick ass again today. Yeah, hopefully. Again, this level is... excuse me. Again, some of these are really hard to do when you don't have, long-range items, but we're gonna try our best, because right now I'm equipped with like 2 swords. Oh god, it's another elite. Got me. Oh, Lucy's here. I haven't seen. Wow. Yeah. Hold on a second, actually, because now I have to go into my stream because Lucy is also one of my favorite people. I'm doing, honestly. How have you been? Because, like, the last time I heard from you, you were, like, sick as a dog before today. Give me 1 second. Last time I heard from you, you were, like, sick as a dog before today. Give me 1 second. Last time I heard from you, there we go. Cool. So, literally, it's gonna be you, Gladys, Gongon, and like Bella. If she ever like runs into a stream, if she ever does that, like you guys are gonna be. Oh, that's actually really interesting. I never thought of what I named you guys. Well, since Pokemon is coming out, I was thinking like the Elite Four, but also, since I've been playing a lot of Persona lately, I was thinking you guys would just be like my Velvet Room attendants. Glad you're streaming, it helps. I'm really glad that I can do that, especially with like what's going on, because I know especially, you know, with you, I know that it's been really hard today. My respiratory system was oofed, but I'm better now. Honestly, babies will do that to you, man. I remember I was working at CVS and I was helping someone get cold medicine for her child, and she covered the child's mouth, but like the baby had coughed, and I don't necessarily know Velvet Room attendants. I mean, hey, listen, at least I'm not calling you guys like the Roman Empire. But yeah, like I got coughed on, and next thing I know, I was like stuck in bed for like 2 weeks, sick. It was the worst. Infantry bow. I need something with long distance, so we're gonna do that. I actually learned some stuff about the Velvet Room that I didn't know about before when I first started playing Persona. Yeah, I caught a stomach virus from my brother when he was a baby. Oh my god, that sounds like the worst. Honestly, with my brother, he's like the lucky one, cause it takes literally months, like months of my brother, for my brother to get sick. And I kind of wish I had that level of immune system, because honestly, I need that. Oh, I'm getting my ass beat. Hold on a second. Oh. Okay. It felt horrible. I slept next to the toilet. Honestly, that's a mood. Because either you have to use the bathroom a lot, or you have to like always what's an immune system? But that's really how it be. Like, either you're afraid that you need to like throw up, or you literally end up just on the toilet, just sitting there, because all of it's like draining out of you. It sucks. I'm actually moving faster to this than usual. Oh, the sinew slicer. This is another favorite weapon of mine because basically when you launch them, the combo is to use the wolf trap while the sinew slicer deals constant damage, and then you just like wail on the enemy that way. I'm gonna buy it. The one thing that sucks is that it killed its moment. I thought you said oh my god! I don't catch diarrhea, I just vomit endlessly when I have a stomach virus. I'm sorry guys, I'm gonna BRB. Gladys, take your time, honestly. I'll be here for like a while, so you'll be fine. And yeah, honestly, I think that like the reason why you thought that is like someone kind of has to be in Alice's stead right now, because I know, especially considering during her stream, she was like convinced that he was okay. Like I know deep down she's probably one of the most torn up about this, especially with the stories she told during her stream, which I'm still kind of shocked about. Oh shit. He died. You know, maybe that's the reason why I decided to stream anyway, despite like how I was feeling. Because, like I said before, like my main purpose, I don't really have a big intention for like me streaming the way that I do. So knowing that like I can help people feel better, and knowing that people actually enjoy me running around mindlessly like this, kind of like killing everything in sight, it's a good feeling, and I'd like to, you know, pass that good feeling on, especially today. Like I said, to wait, what's with the depressed? Yes, my connection went out for a second. It was because I was talking about Alice and how she must have been feeling about the situation as a whole. Because YouTubers and streamers help me feel better every day. Honestly, same here. I think the one thing that I've been getting into a lot of, since you mentioned it, Gon, the one thing that I've been getting into a lot is mostly commentary channels, not drama channels like Keemstar or anything like that, but just like commentary channels that talk about stupid stuff like Yugi and things like that. I'm not gonna lie, I fucking cried, honestly. Me too, Lucy. Honestly, when I actually was watching one of my favorite YouTubers on here, music-wise, I was watching him stream about the whole thing, and he was talking about the Oedipus situation. And seeing him like that, and him reminding everyone that, you know, he was in that exact same place not too long ago, it had me tear up really bad. So I definitely understand. I'm kind of shocked because I didn't use a single potion getting through here. It's kind of odd. Corey Kenshin made a good video about him earlier, too. It put things into perspective for me. Maybe I should watch that sometime after this. I really want that skin, so... I heard about it through Optimus and Twitter. But yeah, he just talked about the importance of mental health and taking breaks when you need them. Honestly, that is a big move. That's why, believe it or not, I actually have a... or had a Tumblr, because I don't use it too much anymore. So I would have all these ideas about like writing creatively for WWE, and no, after what I'm hearing, after what I've heard about their creative, I have no intention of ever working for the WWE. But when I had the ideas of doing it, I was kind of in a bad way, so I'd get into like really bad slumps. So, like, I'd stop writing for, like, literally weeks at a time, and we probably do better storylines than what we have now. Honestly, I've been told that a lot by friends of mine, and I do believe it, if for no other reason than, like, I know the one thing that I did do was, rebook the WrestleMania 35 match, which was, no, it was WrestleMania 34, where it was AJ Styles and Nakamura. I know I rewrote that one because I hated how they built it. And like, alright, I need to heal. There we go. Got him. Yeah, creatives need to take those breaks because it's draining and tiring. Gone, you are absolutely right. And the one thing about Vince McMahon is like... The one thing about Vince McMahon is like, he'll legitimately just have them write, literally, like... I hear sirens. He'd have them write literally like 24 hours a day, and he'd have them write consistently, no time to rest or anything like that, and they'd end up burnt out. And then the craziest part about it is that when it did happen, Vince would just end up rewriting the entire script last minute anyway. So it's like it legitimately didn't matter. It's terrible over there. I'm still salty about the Undertaker streak and who broke it. Honestly, I'm right there with you, because it should have gone to someone relatively and important.
Wrestling was cool, but
Maximum number of mutations reached. Oh, okay. But the reason why I do agree with you, Gongon, is because there should have been someone who could have benefited off of actually beating the Undertaker's streak, and not someone like Brock, who I swear to God, if he wins the Universal title back, I don't want to hear anybody at all try and defend the fact that Brock has the title. I don't want to hear it. Because at that point, there's literally going to be like no excuse. Like, I've gotten to a point where now where unless it's NXT, I don't even really watch it. And it's sad because there are a lot of guys in the WWE that I absolutely adore. Freaking Seth Rollins, Dolph Ziggler, even though some would consider him garbage right now. I think Kane should have broken the streak and they retired together. That actually would have been interesting, but I don't know if they would have wanted to do that storyline again. And the only reason I say that is because I think the Undertaker and Kane match happened WrestleMania 20, if I'm not mistaken. Because it was a grudge match. I think that's when it happened. Don't quote me on that. But it definitely would have made more sense than like having Brock do it. Because like, what about Triple H doing it? Honestly, if the end of an era match at WrestleMania 28, if that was the match that ended the streak, I would have been completely okay with that because of the way the match ended. I would have been 14 and 20. Kane burned Taker in 98, then burned him, then buried him alive in 03. Yes, exactly. Hold up, let me look. Bitch. I keep forgetting that there's more than one wrestling fan than me, which is why I don't really talk about it. And even when I do talk about it, most of what I talk about is like indie wrestling stuff. So I talk a lot about like New Japan and MLW, which is on YouTube. If you haven't seen MLW, I would highly recommend it. MLW is actually fucking insane. And AEW, when it eventually starts to kick back up again. I also watch a little bit of that, but I don't really talk about WWE stuff. Like, if the Mae Young Classic happens, that's fine. I want to see an invasion angle with AEW and WWE in a few years. I think it could definitely happen, especially considering the fact that right now, like, AEW is kind of... Well, you know what? I'm gonna say that it all depends on whether or not WWE is still gonna be around when that time happens. Because the way they've been as of late, I don't think in any particular... Oh, I keep getting spanked on. And I have no potions. So I'm about to die.
WWE is dying.
I'm not gonna say, you know what? You aren't wrong.
Hey, WWE is clearly dying. Like, I may not have cared, but at least it had a good, at least once back then, it had good stories to tell. Other than that, now it's just rehashing, making it feel so so bland and uninteresting.
But man, I am unhappy with how it's going right now. In the chat, did either of you guys see the fuck is it called? Did either of you guys see Stomping Ground? And if you did, let me know how it was, cause I've heard that Stomping Ground was a pretty okay show, like Sunday night. But I know that through reports, the show did not sell well at all. I do know that like a good portion of the arena was like really empty. I saw Stomping Grounds and thought it was meh. I mean, you know what? That sounds about right. But then again, WWE really doesn't put any TLC, no pun intended. They don't put any TLC into their content anymore. Like,
it's just bland and uninteresting.
And how often do they have pay-per-views now? They seem to have them a lot. Honestly, they have them like, what, maybe... It seems like once a month now? Because last time I had checked, we had the one for Super Showdown. Not to mention you have the Big Four themselves. And then you have the filler pay-per-views. So I don't know. And plus there's no telling if like that's gonna be a mainstay or not. By that I mean Stomping Ground. And Extreme Rules is coming up. Super Showdown was cringe. Yeah, I heard about that actually. Believe it or not, I actually had heard that the Goldberg and Undertaker match was a match that never should have happened, and everybody was feeling the most regret. And I'm gonna be honest, I am not surprised, because Undertaker is like 50-something years old. I mean, WWE won't die. Oh shit, oh shit. Well, I died. Speaking of dying, I mean, WWE won't die, but they've been on the downturn for a few years. Maybe if it was 2004 and Goldberg didn't knock himself out of the match. I heard about that too. That was absolutely hilarious. First of all, I don't like how they take old wrestlers and make them wrestle again and again. Yeah, exactly. Because, like, at that point, it's kind of like, oh, well, what makes a wrestler great isn't the talent that we have now. Undertaker almost broke his neck? I actually didn't know that. Holy shit. Balance blade. Lightning bolt. Oh, Gladys, are you a wrestling fan too? I didn't even know you came back. Welcome back. I was crying from the cringe. They were old. He went headfirst into the ring post, and the first thing I thought was, yep, that nigga's sweet. I shouldn't be laughing, but that's so funny. I think that, like, I watched it a couple of times. Wrestling is interesting. Gladys, let me fill you in on something. If you want to see like wrestling, like interesting wrestling, New Japan is where it's at, honestly. Not just for the men, but the women too. Like the men and women that wrestle in Japan, fucking ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. When I saw Shawn Michaels with the bald head wrestling, I said, yeah, this shit. Honestly, Shawn Michaels with the bald head is not it, Chief. Oh wow, Sonic, what's up? But yeah, definitely. Shawn Michaels with the bald head is not it. Undertaker can semi-pull it off, and Triple H can kind of pull it off, but like, nah. Rosemary is carrying the women's division. It's crazy. I think if I had to choose between, I think her and Tessa are probably putting in like the most work in regards to like the women's division on Impact. But Impact Wrestling has been getting better. I think Slammiversary last year was probably my favorite. The match between Pentagon Jr. and Sami Callihan, that match was insane. Alright, Gone, take your time. Like I said, I'm gonna be here a little while to see how far I can make it. No, we're not getting that. Like, when your match gets to a point where you don't use thumbtacks as a weapon, but you start pile driving each other on Legos, not to mention at the time Sammy had a bald head, like, that's absolutely hilarious. But it's also really brutal. Like, I think that was one of the best matches Sammy had put on that was not a pure wrestling match. I think the one thing that I don't necessarily like is the changing of Eddie Edwards' character, because Eddie's kind of become I'm not gonna say Tommy Dreamer 2.0, but it's kind of like he's inherited whatever Tommy Dreamer had in regards to like his character, and it doesn't really fit him to me. I don't know. I don't really like Rich Swann either. I'm not entirely sure why, because Rich Swann is actually really good in the ring, but like, ever since I had heard that, he, assaulted his girlfriend or something like that, I don't know. It just kind of turned me off. Rich Swann, I forgot he existed. Yo, you know he's like the X Division champion, right? That's sad. He got released from WWE, goes over to Impact, becomes their X Division champion, and is just completely forgotten. TJ Perkins just got moved back to Impact as well. He had, I guess you could call it a squash match versus Ace Austin. I forgot the X Division was a thing. That's how bad it is. Honestly, I wouldn't say it's bad, but I do think that the X Division took a big hit. Like, the fact that DJZ isn't there anymore it kind of messes things up, and yet it kind of doesn't. Manic was TJP's best gimmick. I don't care. Believe it or not, I actually thought Manic and Homicide were the same person. Wait, what the fuck? What's that? Okay, so I don't know if you guys are seeing what I do, but if you see this little, like, triangle right here where I'm standing, it looks like the Triforce. Weird. But yeah, I used to think that they were the same person all the time, until I found out that at one point, Christopher Daniels was actually Homicide. At that point, I guess TJ Perkins just kind of left, but even then, it's kind of good to see that he escaped WWE, because like I would not want to be there, to be perfectly honest with you. Actually, Lucy, I don't know if you've heard about it, but what do you think of the 24/7 championship? Because apparently, according to my sources, R-Truth is now a 9-time 24/7 championship holder. I think the only thing that upset me more than the championship itself, the one thing that upset me is that Cedric Alexander mattered so little that literally the 24/7 title is the first title he has held on the main roster. And that kind of makes me sick. R-Truth is the reason I find it good. The man is comedic gold. Oh shit. Oops. I mean, I definitely agree with that. A lot of people are saying that he's carrying Monday Night Raw right now. And again, I'd agree with that simply because, like, Knife Dance won. No, it's not. Take that, though. Ooh. Cool. But I agree with that mainly because we keep being given the same matches over and over and over again. And honestly, I'd rather see R-Truth win a title 9 times than have Shane McMahon win the world title once. I'm just throwing that out there. Alright, so I just got a notification that one of my other friends just decided to come through. So I'm gonna shout him out. How you doing? Hopefully work is not making you want to Persona 3 yourself. But with that in mind, it's funny how I said watch Jinder Mahal win the 24/7 title on the anniversary of him winning the WWE Championship, and a few days later he pinned R-Truth. Honestly, I actually forgot that Jinder Mahal won the the World Heavyweight Championship. I forgot he won it from Jinder Mahal, and I think the reason why is because now I remember he won it. He also beat Shinsuke Nakamura for the title, and that kind of ticked me off. Now I remember why I wanted to forget it, because of the circumstances in which he won it. Oh my god, now I remember. Oh, I have to hold it. Wow. All champions in this era are easily forgettable. Honestly, with the exception of, like, Lesnar, AJ Styles, and Kofi Kingston, they really are. Like, I actually almost forgot that Joe was holding the United States Championship, and to this day, I still don't know if Finn Balor is holding the Intercontinental Championship or not. I have no idea. Oh, I have to come back here at some point because I want my twin blades back. Actually, what are your thoughts on Alexa Bliss in the chat? For those of you guys who watch professional wrestling, and for anyone who's joining us, welcome. This is kind of a chill little Dead Cell stream just to see how far I can get. Because, admittedly, I was I guess you could say a Bliss fit is the correct word. Because that's what her fan base is called. I actually was one for a time. The motherfucker. But I had kept seeing how they were treating Sasha and also how they were doing Alexa. Her fans are cringy as Lucy, again, I used to be one of those, alright? Listen, we all do things that we're ashamed of. I used to be a Bliss fit at one point, okay? Now, I don't know about her fans being cringy. They should just turn her face and turn Bailey heel. Then give me the feud. Then give me a feud to get behind. I used to be a Bailey fan. Oh wow, you're not a fan of Bailey anymore? Well, you know what? I'm not gonna say that I'm surprised. What am I saying? I still am. I was about to say like, oh wow, you're not a Bailey fan anymore, but I was also gonna say I'm not surprised because the way WWE booked her, especially during her her initial feud with Alexa Bliss, oh my god, it was by far one of the worst things. I supported her through the jobber days on Raw. Honestly, I don't know. She lost to Alexa and became a joke. Pretty much. And then she ended up primarily on the women's tag team division. And I will continue to say this until the day I stop being a fan of professional wrestling. I think the women's tag team titles were a mistake. I do. And the reason for that is because a lot of talented women, I feel like, are just going to be subjected to being in a tag team and fighting for those titles. And plus, a lot of people say that, like, the Iconics have devalued the women's tag titles, which I find kind of funny. Because back down in NXT, they were actually really good at what they did. And now, like, everybody shits on them. It's kind of, like, poetic in a way. I actually hate this weapon. They are through, to be honest. We got the Iconics out of all people as champions. Just kidding, I love them. Billie Kay should have had more time in NXT though. Yeah, her and Nia Jax, believe it or not. Like, her and, like, Nia Jax was being booked pretty well at some point. But, like, after a while, with all the botches and her breaking Becky Lynch's nose, it was just rough. And, like, haha. I said the same thing about Nia Jax, but nah, people would rather complain. I mean, listen, Whether they disagree or not, what you're saying is facts. So, I'm sorry, Danny, I have a headache. That's perfectly fine, Gladys. If you need to go, it's perfectly okay. Um, Thank you for joining regardless. I really do appreciate it, especially with everything that's going on. But yeah, you don't have to say that about Naya because it's the truth. All I speak is facts. Like, nah. I mean, listen. When you're speaking the truth about something, people are gonna get on you about it regardless. That's why when I used to give my opinions on, like, Nia Jax, I never apologized for it. Because, number one, it was my opinion. And number two, if she didn't botch so much, I wouldn't have these problems. Gladys hit me with all the heart emojis. Like I said, Gladys, feel better. Thank you so much for joining. I'm glad you can make it. Even if for only a little while. I'm glad you can make it. Is this where my... I'm looking for something. I don't want that. You're just projecting hatred onto Naya without logic. This was said to me once. It's not projecting hatred onto anybody. Like, that's kind of the problem with, like, fans of the WWE, unfortunately. Everybody is under the assumption that if you're, like, criticizing a wrestler, or if you say a wrestler needs to get better, all you're doing is you're projecting hate, and that's not the case. You know, like, just because I happen to say that a wrestler needs to work on this, or a wrestler needs to go back down to the performance center and work on those moves, that doesn't mean I'm projecting hatred. That means it's something that needs to be done. You may not necessarily like the fact that it has to be done, but it has to be done. You give an opinion these days, and people want you burned at the stake. Yeah, unfortunately. Actually, I have a very good example of this. Either people want you burned at the stake, or people get, like, really, really null to the situation, but still complain about it. My boy... I'm just gonna use his last name. My boy Suarez, I know he's lurking in the chat somewhere. And he'll probably know exactly what I'm talking about. So, I gave an opinion on something in regards to, what was it called? I gave an opinion on something in regards to Vanguard, right? Which is a card game that he used to play, and I kind of still do play a little bit. Oh, I got the wrong one. Shit. Oh, what a blind faith. So, we were telling people that, like, the game had just gotten, like, really bad. Like, it just kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse because one card literally came and changed the entire landscape of the game, to which, if you weren't playing that deck, literally, you might as well have just not played the game at all. And we were just telling people, listen, you know, if you want to get into a game, that's fine, but just be ready for this to happen and this to happen as you play the game. And if you feel that's still something that you can handle in regards to playing the game, then more power to you. And some people go as far as to like say that you can go pro in Vanguard, which is completely false. They go as far as to say that, like, you know, it doesn't matter if you're still playing the game. And I'm just like, it kind of does matter if you're still playing the game, because did you just give an opinion? Honestly, that's kind of how Vanguard is, considering, like, outside of me, my boy Suarez, and like one or two other people that play the game, outside of us, like, the community for Vanguard is just like a bunch of man children. Like, Nessie! Oh my god, I can't believe you made it. Thank you for joining. How are you? But yeah, like, the Vanguard community is a bunch of man children, and 9 times out of 10, they'll be the first ones to complain if something goes wrong for them in a game, like in a tournament setting. They'll be the first ones to complain, and yet they'll do absolutely nothing about it. And then when people give their opinions that the game is trash, then everybody gets all butthurt, and they give you the like you just gave me, and it just becomes a hot mess. How are you? Nessie, I'm doing okay. I'm not too bad. I'm just playing this to see how far I can get before I get tired of dying. So far, I've only died once. But yeah, Lucy, it's like really, really bad. And some of this game looks so cool. I know, right? That's the main reason I bought it. I bought it because it looks cool, not realizing that this is a game where if you die, all of your abilities reset, with the exception of a few. And like, you have to start all over from like level 1. Yeah, people should let everyone have their opinions in gaming communities. And then when it comes to actual toxic shit in games, they want to be... Yeah, exactly. Like, you can't support... And this is how it ties into WWE. You can't still be in the toxicity and involved in the toxicity, but when people point out the toxicity, you get mad and you defend it. Like, you know, it's fine to have a different opinion than someone else about the situation, but don't get mad because it's a completely different opinion than like what you want to hear. And I mean, to be fair, I think all of us are guilty of that at one point or another. Like, I know one time Gone Gladys and I were watching E3, we were streaming it, and we were watching Nintendo's press conference, and a lot of people were saying that Nintendo won E3. I personally think that it was a tie between Nintendo and Square Enix, because Nintendo has Final Fantasy VII with the release date, and a lot of content coming out for it, and Nintendo had like 2 DLC characters announced for Smash, they had Pokemon, they had quite a few things, and honestly, Microsoft just couldn't keep up. And everything else was like mediocre at best. So Gladys had said that she felt like they won E3. And I think someone in the chat that knew her where we were, he got like really butthurt, saying that like they were mostly pandering to like people who play Mario. And I was like, that's not necessarily true, because the only game that they showed that was Mario related, the only game that they showed to that point was like Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. So I was disappointed by Microsoft's conference. Honestly, same. Especially considering the fact that
there was sports.
they were hyping, not necessarily, there was that, and they had Keanu Reeves and the freaking Lego car. And
Really?
like, that was it.
Oh yeah,
So
say
I'm
hi
just,
to everyone.
my
for
brother
me.
says hello.
And
I really want to equip that skin,
introduce
so I might
myself to Nessie.
I
there.
might just. I don't know if she's there or not, but
Well, if she ever shows up, just introduce her.
she probably will at some point. I'm actually gonna quit. Like, I'm not restarting it. I wanna see if I can set a skin.
Hello, Gigi.
And he was trying to change Gladys's mind and getting frustrated when she didn't change her mind. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's not her fault that she decided that
At one point,
Nintendo had won
Oh.
E3. Honestly,
Nessie knows me.
if Sony
Hello.
wasn't gonna win E3, it had to be Nintendo. Because Microsoft was just slacking. And I think what pissed me off about that
Holy crap.
is the
Big
fact...
for myself.
I think what pissed me off about that is the fact of your biggest, literally, your biggest contender in regards to, like...
I might start playing this then he can get some
Your
combos.
biggest contender in regards to, like, making games
Don't think
and
that
making
my
game
name is not
consoles
Yoshi.
isn't there, and yet for some reason you feel that, like, it's a good idea
Did he?
to not bring your A game. Like, that makes
The white.
literally no sense. What the fuck? I'm trying to add a skin, and he says hello, by the way.
Hello, Gigi.
But yeah, I don't necessarily understand why he thought it was necessary to try and change her mind like that. It wasn't that deep. It was never that deep. She just had an opinion, and he had a different one. And
What was that? Why do people
yep,
judge
exactly.
people?
Microsoft had the chance and blew it. Yeah, exactly. Like,
Well,
you really have your contender not be at an E3, and you just decide to scrub out like that. Like,
what were they introducing? The sports and the Xbox One X?
no, they also were in Check's pool. It's not that deep. Exactly. And honestly, like, I had looked in some of the stream, Lucy, and I saw some of the fanboys and how they were attacking, like, people that said Microsoft, like, didn't go that hard. And I see why you, like, start seeing red when it comes to those fanboys, yo.
Them bullets.
It was wild. Like, I had never seen so many people go off about an opinion. It was absolutely fantastic.
Microsoft, and Microsoft is supposed to be Sony.
Microsoft is supposed to be one of the big three. That's the thing. Microsoft is supposed to be one of the big three, and they're just like out here failing. Fanboys absolutely piss me off, and you have and you know how bad I rip into people. Yeah, console wars are the most toxic thing ever. Honestly, I think it's fine to be critical of, like, certain things. But what I don't think it's fine to do is get mad at people just because they don't think that...
Listen, tell them I don't care. People don't care. They just want to play their games. Oh yeah, that's another thing about Animal Crossing. Tell them about Animal Crossing.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about Animal Crossing, though. Animal Crossing is ridiculous.
Like the fan no, you want the Animal Crossing version of Sonic 06. You want the Animal Crossing version of Sonic 06.
Nessie, I'm glad you agree with all of the rambling that's going on, honestly. Oh, I'm actually gonna die. Oh, never mind, I'm not. And I died. I remember MFR said graphics and frame rate don't matter, but all of a sudden it does now. It's two fanboys in particular that I was gonna straight up eviscerate, I mean. I'm trying to set up my skin, but I don't know if I can.
Alright.
Hold on 1 second. Alright, I'm back. What's this? What? I'm the tailor. I can fix you up with some proper clothes. I struck a deal with our mutual friend, the collector. You bring the templates and I will craft it for you.
Maybe they'll have a Reinhardt skin.
Can we? Not. Oh, I like it.
Hey, we need some smiles around here.
But yeah, who are the two fanboys that you were talking about? I'm interested. Oh shit. That's a lot of reach. Yeah, at the end of the day, we're all just being... At the end of the day, we're all just living on a floating rock in this giant universe. This trivial stuff shouldn't matter, but apparently it does. Yo, Nessie's coming in with the realness. Yo, Nessie just hit us with some deep shit. JTech TV and Crap Gamer. First chance I get, I will strike them with no mercy. Stay woke, LOL. Word, Nessie is like the most woke in the stream right now. But Lucy, listen, you're a mod now on here. So if they decide to come through and you feel it's necessary to give them the ban hammer, by all means, I won't stop you. Like, I trust you guys,
ban
so...
them with fire.
Yeah, that! Nessie, my third eye just got opened.
I already have.
Honestly... I don't know.
Good for
I just kind of let people... Just like with wrestling, when it comes to games, I just kind of let people, like, do what they do. They decide to come through, I'm deep frying their asses and then banning them. Listen, you are a mod, so I am not gonna stop you. As a matter of fact, I probably won't see Bella too often. So, in her place... There we go. Alright, so Nessie has been elevated to a Velvet Room attendant. Is Bella hungover? I have no idea. I actually just hope she's okay. Cause like, for real, I do know that now she's working. I don't know if she works late anymore or not. She might, but I don't know. Yeah, but for real, we're people playing games and like, what is the point of seriously fighting about a console, which console is best? I mean, Gone, you're absolutely right. At the end of the day, we all like play games because we love them. Like,
yeah, there's no
you know, there's always going to be kind of like a competition of which system is like the best.
Can
Like,
people
I'm
not-
gonna be quite honest with you, Lucy, if you were in the area where I was, when I used to work at GameStop, you probably would have hated that particular area because all there was, literally, unless you got stock shares or work for that company, I don't know why the hell the fucking show for these people. Like, honestly, the GameStop where we were, even though we sold most consoles, our particular store was so PS4 bias. Like, everyone there was a Sony bias. Now, I wasn't necessarily a Sony bias, but I did own a PS4, so that was the system
and
I
I
knew the
own
most
Vita,
about.
so I can't say I don't.
But, like, I also used to have a 360, and a lot of good stuff came out
have
from
the
the 360.
360.
I would be fired from GameStop if someone came to the counter spouting off at the mouth about the virtues of Yoshida's. Oh my god!
Yes. Yes.
Also, Nessie, I'm honestly with what was going on during your stream yesterday, I'm pretty sure that you're like, I'm pretty sure that you're used to the craziness that you're hearing right now. I guess I'm gonna have to get used to it too, so we're gonna take this.
Let's see if she. Let's call it Hello.
But yeah, honestly, everyone that came in, like, there was always like debates between like some of my coworkers and also some of the customers that came in about which system was better. I do not identify as an Xbot or a Sony pony. I throw the cash register at the freaking face. Yes, embrace the craziness, freakiness, and everything in between. You know what, Gon? I'm not gonna reply.
Hey, he knows how it feels.
I'm
Being
not gonna-
crazy is life.
I'm not gonna reply to that part.
Yo, being crazy.
That particular conversation stays in the chat with you being Gladys. I'm not going to reply to that.
Hey,
You're totally fine. You saw I had an entire family trip. You really did. Your mom was like hyping you up to everybody.
hey,
Sony
that's not
Pony,
normal.
that's a new one for me. I mean, some people
Our mom does that too.
Some people ride the Sony Pony, Messi. Pause. But some people do that. It's what happens.
Did you really have to say it like that?
I did, because it's the truth. But there would always be debates on which system was better between, like, Xbox and PlayStation. And then there would be, like,
Who cares?
debates
They have
on
games for it, right? Who cares?
then stuff would depend on which game was better between Fortnite and Apex. I think it was.
Oh, good.
It was between Fortnite and Apex, and honestly, I don't play either, or I play Fortnite. I think Fortnite is probably the game I play the least. How much of a loser do you have to be to debate about a piece of plastic? I mean, listen, apparently people got the time to do it, so
Hey, wow, that time is that.
I think every sane person. I played Fortnite with Bella one time. Yeah, I played Fortnite with Gladys one time, to be honest with you.
Killed you a
But
lot of the time.
that was really the only time I ever touched, like, Fortnite. But yeah, there were arguments between that and Apex, and, like, I personally never really understood it. But seeing the arguments happen, like, live and in person, that was the funniest part of the entire transaction. Like, seeing them literally yell over Fortnite and, like, Apex was hilarious. I swear, if you got time to argue over consoles, you may need another hobby or something. No, not even so much that. You know, there was actually a debate in my store about what was better between Minecraft and Roblox. I cannot make this up. It was the funniest thing ever. Meanwhile, I'm over here getting bodied. Roblox! But yes, Lucy, Roblox. Between Minecraft and Roblox, it was the funniest argument I had ever seen.
And then they say, and the trumpets, they go.
Oh, nah, I ain't about to. LOL, come on, man. Listen, honestly. Oh, shit. Got it. You gotta be kidding me. I'm not kidding you, yo. I'm not kidding. You know what I'd actually love to see? I'd actually love to see Nessie in that kind of conversation. Knowing that she plays Minecraft. I would love to see that. I would love to see that interaction.
I don't.
I do.
God knows they'll probably end up in failure. I'd rather just play the game than just argue.
I love when the music gets like this.
On the trumpet, there you go. Woo!
Maybe I'll do it for a video. Aw, snap. Nessie's gonna rage on all the Roblox lovers. Which are like 12-year-old children.
Yo, don't start with the 12-year-old.
Oh my god, I'm a child! Why is she cursing?
Because you suck!
It would be hilarious. Like a proper, intelligent debate. Come on, Nessie.
I don't really...
You can't have intelligent debates with people online.
Sorry, I'd rather...
Arguing over Roblox and Minecraft is like asking if the ocean is wet or not. Listen, what we're not gonna do is start with that, because I legit used to have people in my college courses ask me like if water was wet. And I'm just like...
wet!
Yes, they used to ask me if water was wet.
It's worse than asking if the earth was flat.
We're not gonna get into that either.
Can't say I'm wrong.
It's actually been an hour. Gotcha, bitch. Aha. Alright, I'm finna call the Earth. I'm finna call the Flat Earthers and have you take them to the... Listen, Lucy, we'll have to fight if you do that.
I can't take it anymore. The Earth is round.
He's finna call Logan Paul on me.
I can't take it anymore. The Earth is round.
Yo, is Mom in here? Is Mom still in the house?
Yeah, she's in the bathroom. She just left the bathroom. I just closed the door. I can't take it no more. The Earth is round. Give it a rest. The Earth is a round ball of Earth.
No, not Logan. Actually, there's something else that I kind of want to speak about. on a more serious note, Logan Paul would push you off, then film you falling into the ether. He really would, and then monetize it. And then make another video that's like, I have made a severe lapse in judgment. Like, what the fuck? Like, he'd really do that. But the thing I wanted to address is, not all K-pop fans are cringy motherfuckers. I think there's someone falling there. But not all of us are cringy, and I say that because, like, when it comes to a person's death, and when it comes to, like, more serious situations, I know on Twitter a lot of people are like, oh, well, maybe if he, you know, stanned Luna or something like that, then maybe that wouldn't have happened. Like,
people should be more careful about what they speak of.
Nigga, in that I can't get her a video looking like a beat up raw chicken strip. Yo, Lucy, you are wild as hell. But yeah, like, I just wanted to put that out there because I know, like, especially when it comes down to, like, the BTS fan base and the Blackpink fan base, like, they all say a bunch of toxic nonsense. So I just wanted to kind of put out there that, like, not all K-pop fandoms or people that like K-pop are, like, that toxic. And I'm really hoping that, like, the whole situation with Etika doesn't... What's the word I'm looking for? Never go full Logan. Never... Yo, you know, I found out he only became a flat earther because there was this attractive chick that he liked.
Really? Really?
Yeah, it was revealed that that was the reason why, because he was trying to bone.
If that ain't the stupidest you know what? I'm not even gonna judge. I'm not even gonna judge anymore.
No, you could judge Logan Paul.
No.
Spiral out of control, blame Alice. What you trying to say?
You're only with the flat earthers all because you want.
Wait a second. Blame Alice. What are you talking about? I didn't blame Alice for anything. I love this outfit though.
People are liking Logan. He did it all because of some girl. That's it.
Yes, he was trying to bang. He was trying to, like.
That's pathetic.
You can judge Logan Paul. Yes, Nessie, I said it, and I will continue to say it.
You know what?
You can judge Logan Paul.
He is pathetic. Just because of some girl you're with flat earthers. What a joke.
Because every time something happens, motherfuckers run straight to Alice. Yeah, and like, honestly, I kind of hope Alice stays far away from social media. Especially recently, because, like, especially now, I mean, because there were a lot of people on that stream who was saying that, like, if something really did happen to him, like, the blood was gonna be on her hands and stuff like that. And, like, she did everything that she could for the guy, like, within her power. And, like, the fact that they're all gonna, like, blame her for that situation or somehow find a way to make it seem as if it's her fault that he did what he did, even though ultimately she couldn't have stopped him. That's probably, like, what scares me the most. So I hope, like, Alice kind of stays off of, like, I'm still waiting on the can of worms that one of his followers I'm trying to box. Oh my god. Lucy, if you gonna call out people to square up with, that's fine, but like
they don't know the magnitude
And even then, I don't even know why you're surprised. Like, Etika's trolls are stupid and clearly dropped out of 2nd grade, thus explaining their aggressively low IQ. I mean, I didn't say it, but I'm not gonna disagree.
You said it, not him.
I didn't say it. I was reading a comment, but no, I'm not gonna disagree with it either.
I meant her. No, him.
Nothing wrong with a friendly ass whooping. Let's. Yeah, I'm still waiting for this match at Under Night Inburst, Lucy.
Yo, I want to fight her. No, if I can, I want to fight her.
The only Michael, everyone in here is like a guy except for Nessie, and Nessie doesn't really play fighting games like that, cause like she had played Mortal Kombat and she was doing really well, and then like I don't know what happened, but an L was caught. But yeah, like, yes I do. What you mean? Nessie, don't act like you haven't been taking that break so that you can train up to redeem yourself after what happened.
Listen, I'm only saying it just for the fun of it. I only want to fight her just for the fun of it. Not because it's
I wish this one-eyed motherfucker would stop shooting.
That's what a lot of people do.
Haha.
Fire blast. There you go! I should have used the bolt up first, but I'm gonna try it.
Let me just say, Dead or Alive and Under Night, along with Cross Tag Battle and Persona 4 Ultimax, are my favorite fighting games. But I am also hot garbage, so like, don't expect too much.
Okay,
alright.
And I can't hit with that.
See, it's friendly competition, Lucy, until you run into those two guys that you mentioned. Then it's not friendly competition. Then you legitimately want to kill them. And
yes. I'm gonna set up this rain dance because I'm part water. Oh god, you're part.
That's a bloodbath. What you mean?
Fucking.
Well, excuse me.
Well, excuse me, princess. Did you just use a sequel?
You know what's crazy, Gongon? Since you mentioned Tekken, I could actually never get into Tekken. I don't necessarily know why I couldn't get into it, but I couldn't seem to get into it. It was weird. I used to play Tekken 4 a lot too, but I could never get into it.
Like, I know I'm trash at Pokemon Showdown.
Come catch these hands.
I know I'm trash at
We're out
Pokemon
here
Showdown.
just delivering all of the fighting game challenges. All I'm saying is if they finally...
I just want to do it for fun. I don't care about competition.
All I'm saying is if they finally put Guilty Gear in Mortal Kombat. I've played some of Guilty Gear, not a lot of it. I played some of it. Bet, I'll meet you in MK10. Nessie, should you be playing like Mortal Kombat XL? At least the most updated version of Mortal Kombat 10. At least. MK2, I mean MK10, who do you mean? Just to let you guys know, if I get like really quiet, it's because I'm like I'm not doing nearly as much damage as I usually would. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I'm really catching the fade right now. That's why I'm so quiet, you guys. Got him. Woo! Oh man. It's always weird knowing that like he has gold teeth. Okay. I'm waiting online. I'm waiting until online becomes available before I buy Crash Team Racing. MK11 fatalities are like anomaly courses now. Eyeballs and intestines. Hey, that's a nice variety of characters. I pretty much mean Jackie. Thank you, Gon, for the W's. Wow, I actually stream. I'm actually streaming longer today than I did yesterday, which is interesting. We'll reset him.
Dead.
Oh shit.
Mega Caesar is dead. A sock.
Ammo.
Oh wait. Oh man, I can't. Choice card. Yes. Switch.
Alright. Who just came in?
Revelation dance.
Alright, so I'm back at the start because I actually think this is a good enough time. It's been like an hour and 30 minutes. I actually did about the same as I did yesterday. I want to thank all you guys for coming and like chilling with me or whatever. I really appreciate it. Congrats to the new mods, Lucy and Nessie. If you happen to be new watching my channel, definitely subscribe to Nessie. Her and Gladys have their own separate channels, along with the Bodega Bashers channel, which the two of them are a part of. For more details on it, subscribe to Nessie and Gladys Rose, who is also here. Both of them put out amazing content, and they've helped me out. So there's that. Let me sub right quick.
I want to make my own channel.
So at that point, thank all of you guys for coming. I'm glad you could catch it too, Nessie. I think my next one will probably be Thursday after I take care of therapy. So thank you guys for watching. Thanks for chilling with me, and yeah, peace.
Say goodbye. I might need help making my own PSN account.